welcome back to another lesson of constructing Arabic sentences. This is lesson number 13.1. 13.1 because we are going to split the lessons into smaller ones, 10 to 15 minutes max, so that they don't become boring or they won't take too much time to upload to YouTube. So in these lessons, we're going to talk about, actually to give examples on what we've studied so far on constructing Arabic sentences, and to concentrate maybe a bit on what we had in the last few lessons, namely possessive, the possessive structure, prepositions, and pronouns. So, to make things faster, I've already prepared a list of all the vocabulary that we will be going through in a sheet in the description. You'll find the link in the description. I do recommend that you go and read the sheet of vocabulary before starting this lesson. So let us start. So for the first example, let's start with something that we have been doing a lot in the previous lessons, and that's to just translate the normal sentence that starts with a noun. So in this example, I'm going to translate the road is narrow. So first the road, and then narrow. So it translates to الطريق ضيق. الطريق ضيق. Straightforward, easy. I hope so. At least if you have been following my lesson so far. So now, how do you say this road is narrow? So we've seen this in the lesson of pronouns, and all I need to do is to pick the right pronoun for the word. So if I put this road is narrow, first you translate the road is narrow, which would be the same as the one above, so nothing new. الطريق ضيق, and then you add the pronoun. So طريق, since it's masculine and singular, we use هذا. هذا الطريق. هذا الطريق. هذا الطريق ضيق. Notice one thing, that in English you don't say the road is narrow. In Arabic we do in a certain way. We use defined words because the logical way is to say that you're pointing at something that is known, something that this road or this apple or this object. So that's why we usually have words that are defined, or معرفة in Arabic, behind this kind of pronouns, the pronouns that you use to point at objects, which we call in Arabic أسماء الإشارة. Right, so let's continue. Now, let's make things more interesting and add a penguin. This is a penguin. Let's add a penguin in the narrow road. Cool. So now the sentence that we want to translate is a penguin is in the narrow road. Now I'll split this into two. First, the narrow road. We should know how to translate this already. So this translates to الطريق الضيق. And notice L, because this is now an adjective, right? The narrow is an adjective of the road. الطريق الضيق. And then I want to add two things, a penguin and in the road. Of course, remember, is does not appear in Arabic, especially in the present tense. Okay, so we say بطريق, which is a penguin. And then we translate fi, which comes in Arabic as this, in, as fi, sorry. So you translate in, and it becomes fi. بطريق في الطريق الضيق. No. So what happens now, fi, or any preposition when it comes before a noun, it changes the last علامة تشكيل or short vowel to كسرة or some sort of كسرة, right? So this is the general rule. Any kind of preposition you add, you would have the very final letter of the next word end with some sort of kasra. Of course, when I say some sort, I've said this many times before. It's because the dual it is not treated this way. You change the waw noon or arif noon to ya noon or whatever. It depends on the word. But in this case, it's just normal. You just flip or change ضمة with كسرة. So بطريق في الطريق الضيق. بطريق في الطريق الضيق. So that's the translation for a penguin in the narrow road. In the narrow road. Okay, now let's go to the next sentence, which says now that this penguin is mine. So I put a tag on this penguin. It's mine. Yep. Now, so how do you translate this? Well, I will take first the sentence that did not change and just rewrite that again. And that would be في الطريق الضيق. Right, and then I will translate penguin, which is الطريق, and then add what is equivalent to my in Arabic, and that's this pronoun. So in English, you use what's called a possessive adjective, but in Arabic, we use a pronoun, and we call it an attached pronoun because it comes with a suffix at the end, and we have like for each, like for example, it's like my, his, her. So we have the same thing in Arabic. Each person has a different type of ending that is attached to the word and gives it this kind of possessive properties. So now this penguin is mine, بطريقي, because I added the ya at the end, بطريقي. So anything you add ya at the end, any noun, becomes yours, mine, in a sense. So بطريقي, كتابي, قلمي, بنتي, ولدي, and so on. بطريقي. So now sentence becomes بطريقي في الطريق الضيق. بطريقي في الطريق الضيق. Say that 10 times very quickly. Yes, بطريقي في الطريق الضيق. Becomes very nice tongue twister. All right, the milk carton is empty. The milk carton is empty, and that's a problem, and we have to solve that problem by translating this sentence into Arabic because the milkman speaks Arabic. Yes, that's the rule. Anyway, the milk carton is empty. Okay, so to translate that in Arabic, I'm gonna split that to two things. The milk carton. So this is a form of a possessive structure. So this is the carton of the milk. One way to look at it. So the carton of the milk. So and this is what we do in Arabic. We use the mudaf and mudaf ilayh structure. Mudaf and mudaf ilayh. And it's whenever you're doing this kind of possession thing. So if I translate the milk carton, it becomes in Arabic علبة الحليب. علبة الحليب. علبة الحليب. علبة الحليب. Now, notice one thing that maybe I did not mention before. The structure of mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Since you add the here, that goes only for the milk in Arabic. So you just put علبة الحليب. Okay, علبة does not need al because it's by definition something defined. Why? Because it's a possession for halib. This is how we think of it. It's something that you define. You cannot have any random. It's the one for halib. This is the one for the milk. You know, it's the carton for the milk. So that's why we consider this to be defined. So this is interesting, and we will see that in the next example. Now, علبة الحليب is empty, would be فارغة. فارغة. علبة الحليب فارغة. Now, we stress a lot in Arabic about the endings because the endings define the word. It kind of defines what is this word doing in the sentence. And we'll see this now here. So now if I want to translate the sentence, the empty milk carton, I'll stop here and just translate this first. The empty milk carton. So it's almost the same. That would be علبة الحليب الفارغة. And I'll stop and I'll explain something. So علبة الحليب, okay, and then الفارغة. Now there's two options. You can say علبة الحليب الفارغة or علبة الحليب الفارغة. What's the difference? I'll give you a minute to think. Actually, just pause the video, think about it, and I'll tell you the answer right now. Is that empty here is what? It's an adjective. For what? For milk? No, it's an adjective for carton. So in Arabic, how do you distinguish that? علبة الحليب الفارغة تي or الفارغة تو. That's what matters. Look, if you mean that, if you want to say that the carton or the box is empty, you match these guys. So علبة الحليب الفارغة. So you mean علبة فارغة. العلبة الفارغة. علبة الحليب الفارغة. If you meant the milk, you match these. And then you would say علبة الحليب الفارغة. But that doesn't make sense because, you know, you cannot have empty milk. But you can say, for example, علبة الحليب الفاسدة. الفاسد. علبة الحليب الفاسد. Since حليب is a masculine, you use the masculine form of the word fasid, and fasid means spoiled, which means it's no longer, you cannot use it, you can't drink it. Yeah. So that's a very important thing to notice. So that's why we stress on the endings. The endings define the meaning in a certain way of the sentence. So علبة الحليب الفارغة. Right, so علبة الحليب الفارغة. So what's with it? It's under the table. We don't translate is because this is Arabic, and we say that it's under the table. So the word for under in Arabic is تحت, and it's a preposition. تحت, preposition word, and that means that the next word that I'm gonna say, which is طاولة, table, has to end with كسرة. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة. The empty milk carton is under the table. I hope this is clear. Let's go on. Now, we'll add one more thing to the sentence. When I say the empty milk carton under the table has a picture on it. Cool? Good. Now, how do you translate that? Well, we have the first part, which is basically علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة. And I'll put this in parentheses. Okay, so now we translate the next one. Has a picture on it. So I'm gonna translate it first and explain. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة عليها صورة. عليها صورة. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة عليها صورة. So, how did I translate this? Right. So look here. First, has is dropped. Now people would ask why. It's the same reason why we drop is. In Arabic, unless has or is used to, let's say, and unless has is used to be to mean to own, unless you can say the empty milk carton owns a picture on it, which is not the case here, you don't translate it, you just leave it. Okay? So if I say Richard has a cow or has a farm, then you will translate that. You'll say يملك, which means has in Arabic, Richard مزرعة. But here you drop it. Next, we have on it, which is a preposition phrase. It is a pronoun, and so we use the pronoun that is related to that. And a general rule is that it would translate to ha, like the feminine article, the feminine pronoun that we use for a third person. So on it, عليها, عليها. Okay, on is ala plus ha, عليها. And notice ala, this is transferred to its original letter, which is ya, and then you add ha. عليها. Next, what's on it? It's a picture. عليها صورة. عليها صورة. A picture. Very straightforward. Now, people might say, well, in English you say picture and then say on it. But in Arabic you say عليها and then say صورة. There's not really much that I can say about that, except for that. If you just take this sentence alone, صورة عليها, okay? In Arabic, usually, if the first word in a normal sentence that starts with a noun, like here, this is a sub-sentence, you can just imagine that. صورة عليها. Okay, so in Arabic, if a sentence that starts with a noun starts with an undefined noun, we didn't say الصورة, we said صورة. Okay, plus the second rule is the piece of information that you give it is a prepositional phrase, which is على الطاولة, for example, or على العلبة in this case. If I expand the pronoun and put the object that it relates to, then what you can do, or what you should do actually, the order becomes inverse. You have to put the piece of news first, and then you put the noun. So basically, in Arabic, this is what we call khabar, right? And this is what we call mubtada, for those who studied this. And this is the condition for when the khabar is put before the mubtada. Okay, so this is why. So basically, whenever you are having a preposition that is, you can just think of it as like we split this part. So now a picture on it. If I translated suratun alayha and then I find that alayha is a prepositional phrase and surah is just an undefined noun, then what I do is I flip the order. It becomes alayha suratun. This is how you say it in Arabic. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة عليها صورة. Right. Now we're going to do something we did before, and that's to take possession of something. And I will say that this picture is actually my picture. So, so we translate that the same way. So the first part is the same. علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة. And then the second part is just that we'll say عليها. Oops. عليها. And this one would be صورة. Do you know how to continue this? صورتي. صورتي. Notice one thing, what happened. Whenever the word ends with ta marbuta, if you take possession of it, ta marbuta means a tied. Ta, it's tied around. It's like you took the ta and you tied it together and it becomes like this. So what you do is actually you open that. So whenever you try to attach something here, you don't do it like this. You do it like this. Perfect. So it becomes عليها صورتي. عليها صورتي. So the sentence becomes علبة الحليب الفارغة تحت الطاولة عليها صورتي. Perfect. So that's it for this lesson. It's been long lesson for me. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any other question, request, wherever, you can just comment below or send me a message. But the best really way, if you're in a hurry, that is to go to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/homelang1, and message me there or put a comment there, because that's where I usually reply within a day. While if you leave something on YouTube, it takes me around a week, sometimes months, depends on how frequent do I check my inbox. Right, so thank you for watching, and until next time.